Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Cartago in Costa Rica. Despite the name of the country, we're not along the coast tonight. We are inland in this big province here, which is very close to the capital, San Jose. This area's geography is very beautiful. There are lots of big mountains, especially here along the border of the province, where you can see Volcano of Orosi National Park. There are two big volcanoes there. You can see Orosi is right here, and Volcano Turrialba, which you saw in the intro, is right here. I'm not sure about Turrialba. I don't think it's active anymore, but Orosi definitely is still very active. All of the big mountain chains throughout the province create beautiful valleys. You can see Orosi right here is in the Orosi Valley. I'll talk about that in its early history. But all of the province, all down here, is a big, lush, beautiful forest as part of the Tapati National Park and Cerro de la Muerte National Park, another big mountain there, the Mountain of Death, Cerro de la Muerte, which I also read that it's the highest point on the Pan American Highway. It's pretty interesting. There's also another big mountain right here, Cerro Chirripo. It's kind of sort of on the, right here on the tip of the border here. I think part of it is in it, because I read that Chirripo is the highest point in Costa Rica, but then I was reading that Cerro de la Muerte is the highest point in Cartago province. I'm like, wait a second, what? So I think the top of Chirripo is not in the province, but the base of it definitely is. There's lots of big mountains here. The valleys are very much known for their agriculture. From what I have seen, the biggest crop right now is coffee, but was historically known for its potatoes and sugarcane. But let's talk about the history of this little corner of Costa Rica, because about right here or so are the ruins of an ancient city known as Guayabo. They don't know much about it because most of it has not been unearthed and discovered. It's in the forest, so it's all covered up. So I think there's ongoing explorations, and last I've read, they've only dug up about 10% of it, if that. Could be even bigger, right? But from whatever source, I guess determined from what they found and stories, things like that, it's believed to have been home to about 10,000 people before European contact. But once the Europeans come, they established towns in the valleys here, since it was very fertile soil. Cartago was founded, the town of Cartago here was founded in 1563. And in these valleys are some of the oldest buildings, I think, in Costa Rica. I know, is it in Orosi? I think it's in the actual town of Orosi is the oldest still functioning church in Costa Rica, even though it's from the 1700s, but it's not like original. The reason that there's not a lot of original buildings here is because of this big active volcano that's not terribly far from this beautiful lush valley. There's also lots of earthquakes as well in this area. So Cartago was the original capital of Costa Rica, and they moved it to San Jose in 1823. I read that it was due to civil war and political parties that it was just more advantageous to have the capital here, but I also read that lots of people were just very afraid of this massive active volcano rumbling like the loud truck outside is doing. A huge active volcano so close to their capital city. So maybe they're both true. They both make sense, I suppose. There was a very big earthquake in 1910. We'll talk more about it when we look at Cartago on Google Earth, because there's still some ruins from that earthquake. And the most recent historical thing that happened was a very large eruption in Orosi in the 1960s, in the early 1960s. Apparently the biggest one occurred when John F. Kennedy was visiting the area. It was noted for covering all of the crops in ash, leading to a lot of devastation in the agricultural economy here. But that's pretty much all that I found about Cartago. Most of the facts that I found were from very early colonial times, and it was just that. There were old buildings built here. It was one of the first areas that was settled by the Spanish in Costa Rica, was this area here, which, thanks to these big old volcanoes, made the area very fertile. Lots of fertile volcanic soil. Yeah, that's about it. There's some beautiful pictures to look at on Google Earth. I think we should just hop over to the tablet and check it out. Let's go. Here we are in Cartago province. And let's start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. Here's Costa Rica in Central America. It's pretty easy to find because it's just before the Isthmus of Panama. It also has this big peninsula right here. So when you're looking at maps of it, you just have to look for that big peninsula right there. You can find Costa Rica right there. In my opinion, my biased opinion, the prettiest country in Central America. Sorry, everyone else. Sorry, Guatemala. Sorry, Belize. Sorry, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Panama. I think Costa Rica is stunning. You gotta admit, it's pretty great. But anyway, my biases aside, let's head to the town of Cartago, and you can see just exactly how close it is to the capital, San Jose. Very, very close. Looks like there's a big road connecting them. It's basically a suburb at this point, isn't it? So, in the center of town, ish. Gosh, I don't remember where it is. Is it over here? Oh, that's like a school. Oh, it's over here. You can see the Cartago ruins. And you look at these from above, right? And you look, oops. There you go. You look at, this, and you think, oh, this must have been from the more colonial historical era. But this was actually a big church that was being built just before the big 1910 earthquake, and it was so destroyed that they just decided to leave it. It wasn't worth knocking it down. It wasn't worth resuming construction. They just left the ruins. So it looks, oh, that's cool. This robot statue. They got real sheep there. Oh, it looks like a real person too. They've got a living, man, I am just blanking on words today. The manger thing. You know what it is. It'll come to me in a second. Anyway, they just decided to leave it as is. So it looks a lot older than it is. These sweet sheep. I think that's pretty neat. Also in this town is a very famous church. Oh, let's look at the museum real quick while we're here. Cartago Municipal Museum. Let's see what we can find inside. It's a pretty garden outside. It looks like this was a prison. I believe it. Some neat art here. Looks like it's depicting railroad workers. Another cool statue. This must be a local artist that makes these big robot contraptions. Looks like lots of modern art here. It's pretty neat. An old bell. It's pretty interesting too. his cows and his plow. All right, there's a very famous church. I believe it's down here somewhere. To remember, right here. Right, this one, Immaculate Conception. That doesn't look like it. I don't think that's it. Let me see the slideshow. No, that's not it. It's very pretty, don't get me wrong, but that's not the church I'm looking for. Where'd it go? Another loud truck passing by. Hello, loud truck passing by. How are you tonight? Why are there so many of you passing by tonight? Appreciate it if you didn't, but that's okay. Where did this church go? It's not that. Goodness, it's like huge too. It's like a really big church. I don't want to start telling you about it until I show you, because it's probably the most famous church in Costa Rica. Let's see if I type in Cartago Church. Oh dear, not Carthage, New York. Let's see. I just put in church in a Central American country. It's going to give me 10,000 results. Oh, there it is. Man, it wasn't down south. I really thought it was. Wait, I saw it and then it disappeared. Basilica. Yes, here it is. Okay. All right, pretend all that didn't happen and I just found it. Here's the picture. It wasn't in the south at all. So, look, first of all, look how pretty. It's like a cake. It's so pretty with like icing on it. So this church has a Madonna statue associated with it. Look at this gorgeous ceiling. Goodness, it's beautiful. So it's one of those churches where a little girl found a statue of the Virgin Mary. She brought it to her church. It disappeared. It was found in the exact same spot she found it. So they built this church around it. Little black Madonna. Black Madonna. This really big, pretty church. So there's a huge pilgrimage that occurs once a year here, and thousands of Costa Ricans show up to it. So it's a very fancy church with all kinds of statues and artwork all around it. Okay. Moving on, let's look at gotta be careful not to go too far out. So this is the church I mentioned in the history portion. The oldest church still in use in Costa Rica, built during the colonial times. Before Costa Rica was an independent country. You can see Costa Rica flag there though. Old tables and chairs and old bed there. That does not look comfortable. Beautiful silver. More farmers with their cows and plows. Big agricultural region, like I mentioned. Some beautiful old robes there. My goodness, they look so frail and delicate. More statues there. And a bird of paradise outside. Nativity, that's the word. Oh my goodness. That took way too long to come from my brain to my mouth. Here is the Orosi Valley. Isn't that stunning? There's the church. There's the view of this gorgeous valley. You can see why the Spanish came here and was like, yeah, we're going to build our homes here because it's absolutely gorgeous. So precarious bridge, but it looks pretty stable. Big rocks to climb. There's the old church we just saw. The sun shining on the treetops there. Rushing river rapids. Big forests. And fruit trees, some kind of orchard. And big blue skies as well. look at around here, right around Ujaras. The ruinas. Goodness. The ruinas. So this is a church that was destroyed, I believe, in an earthquake? Question mark. I don't quite remember. Oh, sorry, my squeaky chair. I think it was destroyed in an earthquake, if I recall correctly. That sounds about right. So this is actual colonial ruins, unlike the ruins in the center of the city. Very haunting, isn't it? Then if we go to Turrialba, and I might have to type it in because when I was researching for this, it didn't pop up on its own. I had to type it, but I think it's right here. Maybe I'm lucky. No, but I do want to see it. There's also a waterfall here. Let's take a peek. Wow, cool. What is this? Monumental Natural Arbor de Ceiba. Big. Look at this. Wow, it's a cool tree. All right. Let me type it in. Let me look at my recent searches. You can get some previews there. Guayabo, oh, it's way up there. So yeah, you can see that this was the site of the city, and that's all that's been uncovered. And you can see from the top all of the cool mounds and things. Pretty neat. So here it is from the ground view. What was once a huge city of 10,000 people. Look at this cool carving here. That's neat. Some stairs leading up. That's definitely more recent. But yeah, look how pretty. A well maybe, or a bath. Explorer tombs? Oh boy. It's like in a morgue where they like pull them out. Oh, do you think they did that? That's wild. Big tree roots there, all mossy. There's a map there of all the various sites that they've uncovered. What this area once looked like. You can see all the mounds. Once had little homes on the top. Rectangular mounds. Yeah, looks like they have it in English and Spanish, which is pretty nice for visitors. Right. From what I understand, Costa Rica is one of those places that speaks Spanish, but everyone knows English. Is that right? I know Panama is, but that's because it's Panama. That has a long history of the United States, but ooh, look how dense this is. This is why we don't know a lot about the city, because most of it still looks like this. All densely forested. Cute. But yeah, that's kind of the impression that I get, that there's a lot of people who know English in Costa Rica. Let me know if that's accurate. Let's go look at some volcanoes. So many waterfalls down here. As always, I highly recommend that you explore this area yourself and see what you can find. This is Turrialba. This is the volcano that you saw in the intro of this video. See the beautiful blue lakes there. Ooh, maybe it is still active. Look at that. Maybe it is still active. I didn't read anything about it still being active, but it certainly looks like it from these photos, doesn't it? I wouldn't be surprised because there's quite a bit of volcanic activity in Costa Rica. It's so pretty up here. Great views. Oh yeah, look at all of this. This is definitely from some lava or pyroclastic flow or something like that. That kind of destruction on the mountain. Oh yeah, look at that. This exploded all down here once upon a time, maybe hundreds of thousands of years ago. And then its neighbor is over here. Did I just lose a volcano? Torrealba. Am I turned around? No. Irazu. There it is. Oh goodness. It's right here. Irazu is the one that's the big problem that erupts the most. Oh, cool though. Pretty neat. There's the crater. Well, look at that view and that cloud cover down below. Lots of hiking, looks like. It's gorgeous here. Sorry, I'm at like a loss for words. Costa Rica is so pretty. Ooh, mysterious. Wow. Very neat. These are the volcanoes. And then if we head down here, we can see Tapati National Park, which is all very thickly forested. Look at this. How amazing. Sorry for the squeaky chair. Bienvenidos. Beautiful river flowing through this valley. All this thick, thick green foliage. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. All of these like hanging vine things. Beautiful big towering waterfalls. Foggy mornings over this big golden bridge. Hiking out in the wilderness. Big canopy, trees here. Beautiful sunsets over the mountains as well. It's so stunning. Oh my goodness. What in the world is that? Is that a Coatamundi? I think, I'm not sure. It's cute though. And then down here, see, here's Chiripo. As you can see, part of it is in the province, right? But I think the actual peak is just outside of it, so it doesn't quite count as being within the province. But yeah, the highest mountain in Costa Rica. So we'll take a quick peek since we'll look at it apparently 2 other times. Looking at 2 other provinces here in Costa Rica. Very pretty. Very mysterious up at the top. A national park as well for that. Go along. Let's see. Main road here. So this is the Pan American Highway here. We can find the Cerro de la Muerte somewhere around here. There's all kinds of mountains. I think we'll end it once we find it. There's of course so much more to see in this province. I highly encourage you to explore this area on your own. See what you can find, because it's so beautiful. Why can't I find it? I found it no problem when I first researched this place. Let's type it in. Cerro. I was so close, right? I think it just didn't pop up because this is where I went first. Cerro de la Muerte. Yeah, the highest point on the Pan American Highway. Pretty cool. So let's end it here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. Next, we're going to be going to Wales, where we're going to see pretty much like everything you can see in Wales in one place. We're going to see the coastline, rivers and valleys, mountains, old buildings, new buildings. It's going to be good. Be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. Ooh, looks very inviting. There are those hammocks. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational, and I hope that you have a good